scared?
Very often, very often. When they came over and started bombing, you got in your little hole and kept your head down, and kept it out the way. When we were on the desert, we were very often bombed and strafed. You know, that's with aircraft coming down and shooting. You see, and that's how the Germans used to come over and strafe you all the time. And when you're in certain areas, you got a lot more of that. Then you got airplanes come over and chasing them, and they're fighting them off. You see, that's how it was. You get knock that off, do you? Or?
No.
Oh.
That's on now. You're on
What was the food like?
The food, terrible our food was, and for months and months, we didn't get any bread. We all had biscuits, bully beef, sardines, and all that sort of thing. We never got any fresh food or anything like that. And we got rice, and that was brown with the sand. When the sand used to blow, all the dixies what the food was in, you see, they all got sand in, and everybody was eating sand. You ate rice. That's all we used to get for sweet, nearly. Rice. We used to get munched up biscuits. They used to crunch them all up and put them in a little tins, and then put them in the oven and bake them with a few raisins in, and then they get them out and cut them up, and you had a square of inch and a half square, and that was your ration, you see. And we had in the morning we probably had a bacon that was in tins, and when you pulled them out, and there was all paper and bacon in a roll. They used to pull the bacon and paper all out together, you see, and sometimes you used to cook it, and sometimes it was all right to put on a biscuit and eat like that. That's how we used to do. Very often eat bacon without cooking it. You see, you used to make like a ham sandwich of biscuits. We didn't have bread or anything like that. They were what they called weevils in bread, so nobody didn't want the bread, and it came hundreds of miles. Where now the other company, New Zealanders.
Oh no, he's on to you, not New Zealanders. Sorry, I've done it.
What was your clothes like?
Clothes? Oh, all we had was a little. Well, yes, I've got some photographs. I'll show you what they were like. All we had was a pair of shorts on very often. A pair of shorts and a pair of plimsolls, and that was all we had on for a long time. After we'd been out there some time, we got used to the weather and all that, and all we had was just a little pair of shorts and a pair of plimsolls, a pair of socks probably, but otherwise they didn't restrict us about our dress, not when we was after we'd been out on the desert. They didn't restrict us about dresses or anything like that. We used to go on parade with just a pair of shorts and a shirt.
Which country was you in?
Oh, that'd be North Africa, wouldn't it?
What age were you when you
It was
cooked?
called up.
Yeah.
28, wasn't it? 28. 28 or 29.
What did you live in?
Well, while we was on the desert, we lived in our trucks. You slept. If you had a load of petrol on, you'd throw a board down over the top of that and sleep on a load of petrol. Or if you had a load of bombs on, you'd put a board over the top of them and sleep on the top of them. Oh yeah, it didn't have really. We grew up one supply with tents.
Did you go abroad?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Well, that was Africa, you see. Oh, let's have a drink.
Oh.
Go on. What do you?
Did you go abroad?
Oh yes, yeah. When I joined the army, I had a month's training at Woking. And from Woking we went to Yorkshire. Yorkshire. Shipley, yeah. And we was there. We was in a boys' club. We were put in a boys' club, and we had a bag of straw to lay on. We had an old palliasse or something. We had to fill it up with straw and lay on that. All really cold. You know, the draft used to come up through the boards at Shipley. And then we went out snow clearing and all that sort of thing, you know, sweeping the snow. And then one day we were all got together and they said that we was going abroad. And they said that, right, you got to go and draw your kit ready. So we didn't know where we were going, like. So we went and drew all our thin clothes, shorts, what rolled up. They were, so you could pull them down in some areas. You pulled them down and tied them round with a knot.
Did you go up in a plane?
No. Saw plenty, but we went down when the planes came.
What was your job in the war?
Driving the lorry.
Regiment.
What?
Well, I'm a service corps.
Eh?
Well, I'm a service corps.
Oh, well, he said, what's your job during the war? I said, driving a lorry.
We recorded that.
Oh, yeah? Never.
Did you shoot someone?
No. Our officer said, if you get near enough to shoot anybody, you're too near. Well, see, all our job was running up.
Oh.
That's all right. Your teacher will know that.
How did the desert rat come to get its name?
Well, it's digging holes to lay it. You laid in. You got a hole at night time. You dug a hole, and you laid in it at night time. You see. Sometimes you took your boots off or shoes, whatever you was wearing. Otherwise, you didn't take your clothes off.
Thank you for the interview, Mr. Grimwood.
Well, in 9 weeks.
You have to tell your teacher, James,
Yeah.
apologise for Mr. Grimwood and his memory. Because he's been very ill, so his memory's not as it was, you see.
Yeah.
And apologise for that little swear word.
It was only a little word, tell him.
That's because he got a frog in his throat, said your teacher.
No, I tell you, I went to Shipley, Yorkshire. You can remember this. You can write it down later. And I went to Shipley, and we were there, what, couple of 3 months. We went out snow clearing, doing anything, you know, messing around. But we used to go out and do a bit of drill, a few of us at a time. The company never done anything on its own. And then they said, right, you're going abroad. And they come and we went down to the stores, and we got these here long trousers on, like, you know, and we got big bring them back alive hats, as we called them. They were like topies, what they called, or the big old things. They were cork helmets. They were, and of course we made a good laugh of these, walking along the Shipley High Road, coming back from the stores with and we were all over the place, like, and doing odd jobs and all that sort of thing. Used to do a guard now and again. We had no trucks. Had one truck. They used to go off and get our rations, you see, and bring them back. And we had a old, what was it? Like an old library. They got for the cookhouse, and like where we used to go and sit and have our food. Just forms and tables. And then we were terrible.
You are froggy today, aren't you?
And we went, they said, right, all confined to billet. That was nobody allowed out. And we had an officer come to us and swear us in, as though we were, you know, not allowed to tell anybody what you're doing or anything. They swore you in, and you weren't allowed out, they said. But everybody, as soon as they cleared off, as soon as the officer went, everybody went down the pub to have a drink, you see. And the next morning, it was about 3 o'clock, because we'd got all our kit all packed, and we had a white kit bag to put all our other oh, it's a blighter, isn't it? We had a white kit bag with all our names and different numbers and all that sort of thing. And they went into the hull of the boat, right down the bottom of the boat, you see, and our kit bags. When we got on the station at Shipley, and they locked, as we got in the carriage, they locked us in and said, that's it. And off we went, and we went to Scotland. Yeah, went to Scotland. Where the devil was it?
Stirling, something like that.
No, right up the side of the boat.
Greenock. Did you go to Greenock?
Yeah, right up to the side of the boat, and they unlocked 2 carriages at a time to let us out. So we didn't run for it, like, so they put us up the gangway, and up the gangway we went, and on the boat there was 3,000 troops. The crew, they were counting everybody on with a little machine they got, and they actually stopped having any more on our boat. 3,000 went on our boat, and we were packed in like sardines, and we were put down G deck. Now there was A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We was right down the bottom, G deck, and we all had what they call them, hammocks. And you had to hang your hammock up on a couple of hooks for sleeping.
Had you ever been in a ship before, or?
No.
No.
And there were so many that your hammocks all hung like that. And if you wanted to get out at night time for a wee, you pulled your blankets out with you, because you couldn't get together. Like all the things that swing so tight together, you couldn't get back in your hammock, so you had to sleep on the floor. If you got out during the night, you'd have to sleep on the floor. Because that's why you pulled your blankets out with you. You see, otherwise everybody had swung together, and we had about a month or more like that. So we got out to sea, and there was about, I forget how many boats in this convoy, but they reckon it was the biggest convoy to leave England. And we had all battleship, we had a big battleship in front, and all destroyers and all that, all round us. And that's how you used to travel when you during the day. You used to go along we didn't have a rough journey, but all very steady, but you all spread out all for miles. The boats were all spread out, and these here destroyers was all round you, and this here big battleship. That whole thing used to go. That used to be right out in front of the battleship, and all these here little destroyers. We had destroyers and cruisers, but the destroyers was all round, kept moving around. If they saw a little smoke on the horizon, they'd send one of these destroyers out to see who it was, you see, in case it was an enemy boat or something like that. Well, we went right round nearly to Canada, and then from Canada we went right round to like Durban. We landed in Durban for like 5 days. We were there. That's where they picked up all their supplies. This here boat, what we were on, was supposed to be a big passenger liner, but they'd put another funnel on it to camouflage it, you see, so they didn't know what sort of boat, what boat it was. Then it was all painted, this was all painted black, this boat. And at night time there wasn't a light anywhere. Anybody put a light on, it was heck, anybody strike a match up on deck, light a cigarette up, they used to go mad, because everything was pitch black, and you knew the other boats were there, and some parts of the water, when you got in the water, was used to, as they went along, it was like a white line round them, like what they call like phosphorus around these here boats. And it was very, funny to see. You could see at night time, the big battleship used to come in the middle of us, and we all used to close up very tight, like, a couple of 100 yards, like close together. but you only went the same speed as the slowest boat on the convoy, you see, so we couldn't leave it behind, couldn't leave anybody behind, so you all had to go at the same speed as what the slowest boat was. And we had, we got to Durban, and our convoy went to Cape Town in South Africa, that was. Some went to South Africa, and the South African Navy, they came out and support, when our destroyers went back, because they can only go a certain way, you see, our destroyers, because they'd run out of fuel. So when our destroyers went their distance, the South African destroyers come out and met our convoy, you see, and they escorted us, and then we had 5 days in there. That's where we picked up supplies, and I suppose the ship picked up oil and all that sort of thing. Then on we went to the Suez. We had 5 days in Durban. We had, or 5 half days we had in Durban, and the people in Durban, they treated you lovely. They took you home and all over the place, and all that. They gave you, you know, lovely dinners and all that sort of thing while you were there. And on the last day, they wanted escort. So my mate put his name down for it, so I did. And while we were in there, we went to a police station, and there was so many policemen and so many army chaps and so many of ours. And we had to go on patrol through Durban, and we had to go on patrol and rake round to see whether there was any deserters, like, which plenty of deserted in South Africa. They deserted, like, you know, the people took them home and that was it. And but
this was people that didn't want to stay in the army, they deserted, they tried to get out of the army.
See, they did what they call deserters. And then we went all round the native quarters looking. That's where a lot of the chaps went, you see. They hadn't been with the women for any time, and they went off, whether dark or light or black or whoever they were. They didn't mind, some of them. And we had to go round and you know, get them out. And we went to one place, and they were all these here little huts, what you see in the paper, these South African buildings, like, they're only huts. And the South African police, they go in and bash the doors down and all that, you know, and see whether there was got anybody in there. And the poor old natives again. Well, that's what I often see on here, like, you know, when the natives all carrying down, and these going with sticks and God whack the poor old people about. And anyhow, we were 5 days there. We had a nice time, and on we went, all aboard again, and off we went again. We left the big battleship. We left that behind. That went into dry dock. Yeah, but we had loads of destroyers and cruisers around us again. But they were too far out for the German submarines, you see. So we got, I tell you, the end of the journey, and as soon as we got off, they took us, our lot off And they said, right, there's some lorries over there. Go and start them up and you can drive them. Yeah, that was our, see, we were all drivers on it in our company. We were a transport company, see. And they went and give us the lorries and away we went. And of course they drive on the wrong other side of the road in Africa, you see. So we drove round off there, and there was some nurses on our boat. Of course they were right up the top there with all the officers. But they were, and we had terrible food on there. We had fish balls and all that, and one particular day they were really bad, these fish balls, and the Guards Brigade got all the same, and they took them up, and we stopped at one place where no troops went off, only the officers went off, some island it was, and they went off on boats, and these here Guards Brigade had got these here fish balls, and they pelted the officers with these fish balls, you see. Yeah.
What would James like? Orange or fizzy lemon?
Nothing?
Not yet.
And
Why don't you have it when Mrs. Grimwood's making it, James? Not lemon.
Lemonade,
Fizzy lemon?
please. Yeah.
I'll put this to stop.
Yeah. You know, your ration sort of thing. You had to do that before you'd get any food when you was with the French. I was with them for about 3 months. I had to take my own kit and everything like that, and I thought, oh God, I wasn't getting any mail. I never got any mail because the company my company didn't know where I was. You see, what they called us a domestic company because we'd supply a driver to anybody, like, you know. And I was in it for 3 months, and I met one of the drivers and the other officers, and he said that, I don't know what his name is now, but he said that his driver, this officer's driver, was out of hospital and was coming back. So I said to the officer, any chance of me going back to me company?
I think it finished.
So he said, and he said, I like to keep you, he said. You're a better driver than what my driver is. He said he's a bit mad. So I said, oh, but look, I said, I don't know anybody here. I haven't spoken to anybody, only you. He was a nice officer. He was a teacher in a school, but he was made a captain. And I said, like, you know, if you
14 days.
14 days.
Embarkation leave.
Yeah, the embarkation leave, 14 days, you see. And
once you went back,
when I went back, and
never saw him again till 1945.
Yeah, we bunged on the boat, and away we went.
That was in 1946.
Yeah, about 9 weeks, I think, we was on the boat. Oh, it was terrible. And
so
then,
really, Joel, you were glad to be here in a way.
I was here for a time. I was here when he went. Then my sister got me a bungalow on Canvey Island. Got all that furniture in store, and it was getting spoiled. And she got me a bungalow to rent on Canvey Island, so I moved from here and went to Canvey Island. That's where I was when he came home.
Oh.
I was with my family, you see. Now I used to come down and visit Grandad and Grandma Grimwood with Douglas right through those 5 years. We used to come down for holidays, etc., etc. And so I was at Canby Island when he came home, because I was there and I was hairdressing and things like that. And Douglas started school, you see, and I was hairdressing. I reckon these would be interesting for you, James. That's the 8th Army. One
of those books.
Bomber Command could be, could it? Or are these in these? That is the 8th Army one. So
That's the 8th Army that Mr. Grimwood was in, James.
he was in the 8th Army in the Royal Army Service Corps, you see.
Right.
So you'll find some information in there, if you'd like to borrow that one. But this is about the, that's Bomber Command. I think that was in, see, I think these belong to Mr. Grimwood Senior. W. Grimwood, they belong to his dad. He must have bought them during the war while I was away, and they were all about our Bomber Command, you see, all in this country.
See, look, this is a big hat I used. When you got out there, they put you in in tents, big tents like that.
Look at photographs here.
And for about 12 o'clock till 3 o'clock, you wasn't allowed out of them tents. You must stop in because the sun, when it's so hot, you bake you up, you see. So you had, and if they caught you out, you'd be on court-martial, which is like, you know, you go into prison for court-martial, and you wasn't allowed out of those tents until 3 o'clock, you see. You had to stop in those tents.
What they call siesta time, isn't it?
Yeah, you had to lay down and go to sleep or whatever you like, but you mustn't come out of those tents. We had about a month of that. During the day you was all right, you was out and that, or in the morning.
When you were delivering water?
No, that was when I got out there first.
You first got out there?
First got out there, you see.
Yeah.
There's a little German girl. We took their farmhouse over, that little girl house. We took that over. She's a little.
So you went to Germany and Italy. You went to right up to the Russian border.
This is in Cairo.
Didn't
like
you? Right up to the Russian border.
When we went on leave in Cairo.
Because a lot happened in those 5 years, you see. He took refugees up to Russia. Stettin, we've heard on here in this last few. This year we've heard
this
of
is
Stettin.
little holes where we used to crawl in, you see. Used to go in there if there was any bombing or shooting or anything.
Sometimes he was on petrol, sometimes he was driving water.
See, this here old wog,
ammunition.
he used to be our guide while we was in Cairo. When we was in Cairo, he would take us and show us all round different places. See, and this here little boy used to do our beds. He used to look after our beds while we were on leave, you see. We were in Cairo. Now, where was this? Oh, many moons ago, isn't it?
Yeah, many moons ago.
See, we were all in water there.
See, I can remember a lot of that.
Yeah.
We can't remember what happened yesterday or last week.
So really, Alf, you went from very hot conditions up to Russia, where it was probably very cold.
Very cold, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we see when we got into Italy, Italy's very cold.
When they were in Rimini, the sea froze over.
Yeah, in Italy.
In winter.
Where everybody go on holiday now, Rimini.
Since then, our sisters have been to Rimini on holiday and come back brown. But they were up there in the winter.
See, they're the sort of trucks we had, look. Great big.
They're massive.
Yeah. See, that's a cookhouse if you only knew, look. That's what they used to do in the cookhouse. Yeah, is me up on the camel, look.
Did you take these photographs with your camera or?
No, different chaps had cameras and that. Really, you wasn't allowed a camera. See, there's some of our. Look, See, he was always on top of the hole, so you get down out the way
Dive
on the
in.
quick. This is where I went on leave in Italy, here, you see. And these were the huts we used to had a week there. That was a German girl. Where is it? That one. The German. She was a nurse from one of the German hospitals. I don't think she was actually German, but you know, she got to our camp and where they used to give her food and all that. Yeah, look, it's a cemetery. One of the cemeteries. Where they buried, look, all the stones. Look, there's a great big memorial there. That's in Tobruk, just outside of Tobruk, and they got Italians, Germans, and British troops, always thousands, all in this here big cemetery. See, and the Italians built that. It's terrific. There was a road through here, and we used to run through there to get our supplies. Yeah, look, that's where the pyramids. We was on the bottom of the pyramids there. Look.
In Egypt, Alf. You went to Egypt.
Yeah. Up there.
And he saw Mount Vesuvius.
Oh yeah, that erupted while we were there.
Erupted while
We
they
were
were
right
there.
on the bottom of it.
You listening, James? And this and it
Right on the
erupted.
bottom. All
A
our
volcano.
all our trucks was
Photograph of the
up the side of Vesuvius, and the
Photograph
day
of
we moved, we could see it smoking. And the day we moved, we got moved up about
One of these has got the
20 mile, I reckon. We went up the road, and this damn thing,
Is it?
this here Vesuvius erupted, and where we were staying, like in our trucks, we used to be in our trucks. All the lava came down the mountain. Or the side of the. Yeah, I look.
What that was.
What's it showing it?
The Vesuvius.
Let's have a look, James.
Look, this are the camels. Wherever you went, you've seen that, the pyramids of it. Yeah, that's the pyramids. And we used to. This is when we went on leave. You had about 5 days in Cairo, you see. That's when we was made up, all dressed up, you see. These different things in Cairo. That's a lot of those. But this is, look, these are all little German girls. That was when we were in Germany, and all the little children used to come round the cookhouse and see what they could get to eat. You see, and
Do you see all these, James?
oh,
Sorry, Alf.
okay then.
Carry on.
Look, this is I took this truck over while I was in the desert. That's a water truck, you see. It's a water tank. But when we got into Italy and Germany, we didn't want water, so I lost my truck and I went onto a big one. Now this is, look, these are prisoners from Belsen and all that sort of thing, look. See? You've heard of Belsen, haven't you? No? These are all Russian, they were, or Poles mostly. Polish. We took Polish prisoners as one of our convoys, and these are all what was in slave camps. These are. See?
Yeah.
So you were freeing them? You were
Well,
liberating them?
we
Yes.
as a bridge across the river, what was bombed. I'll let you have this in a minute.
Yeah,
You
alright.
can have the lot. Yeah, there's not many more of these. Yeah, one of the officers took all these and he said, anybody wants them, I'll get them all made up for you. So we all put in for a set of these. And look, this is where Germany was bombed. Look how they bombed.
Oh, come look at these.
No, your mum can do the lot. These are parts of the country what was bombed. Oh,
Well, this one's
look, these were all buildings and marvellous. Look, church stands and everything.
Is that Hamburg?
No, I don't know whether that was Hamburg or not. Now, no, I forgot. See, now look, this is a Russian. They were Russian patrols. When we took Poles back, we had to go through all Russian area because Russians were had Poland and all, you see. So we had to go through their area.
They freed Poland.
Yeah, and we.
From the Germans.
See, there's the German army, look, in retreat.
It's after they're beaten you.
This is a church on VE Day when they all went to the church, all the village. This is Rome.
Rome.
Yeah, and look,
You're doing a project. Oh, no, probably understand.
Granny went to there.
Who?
Oh my Granny, she didn't go to that place.
No, that's Rome. Oh, I went to the Vatican and all round that.
Oh God.
You know, yes, I went to. Some of our men saw the Pope. He came out one day, and he was in charge of all the Catholic churches all over the world. The Pope has got his little hat on. Oh yeah, everybody know the Pope.